It's really cool that Blue Sky gives you a lot of what Mastodon gives you, but also without you can choose to have less responsibility. Because I think everybody like got into Mastodon, which I still think Mastodon has its value, but people got in and they were like, "Wait, this is more work than we thought it was," you know? Like,
Yeah.
so I think it's cool that you have the options of Blue Sky, but at the same time, you can choose to be like to have less responsibility.
Yeah, and you mean that like running servers and stuff
Yeah.
like that? Yeah. Well, and like that's really important too. Like the we were trying to be as practical as possible about like making sure that okay, we're going to open everything up, but that shouldn't mean that this suddenly becomes like untenable for folks.
Yes,
And
exactly.
if you're interested in like a moderation thing, then that's all you got to do. If you're interested in a algorithm thing, then that's all you got to do. If you're really into self-hosting, then that's all you got to do. We want to make sure also that like honestly, a lot of this stuff there's in decentralization. A lot of the kind of big ideas are connected to kind of disaster management.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you do when things go terribly wrong? Like, let's say a crazy billionaire buys your social network.
We don't know where
Hypothetically
that came from.
speaking, yeah, if that happens, like, what do you do, right? Most of the time, that's not what's happening. Most of the time, things are going normally. And so you don't really care that much. So I call that a Mylar blanket feature, right? It's something that only comes out after a disaster and you're putting on the Mylar blankets. So if it's not something that's like driving the experience in a significant way, then it shouldn't be something that's like taking up a lot of mental
That is really
energy,
true.
right?
Because I
So
think people were so panicked after like Twitter that became like such an intense part of the conversation when it's like, how often is this really going to happen? And like, if it's affecting the usability of it on a daily basis, like how
yeah,
successful can you be? You know?
Right.
yeah,
I mean, but that does depend on like, is this just takeovers or is this just general like social network failures? Because there's been plenty in my lifetime where it's like, oh, you know what? Like I don't have a MySpace anymore. And,
sure,
I closed a lot of accounts in the past. I probably closed almost as many accounts as I've opened of things that like I just don't do anymore because those networks folded and aren't around. And how do you keep that? If you liked it and you like the community, there should be some option, but yeah, it shouldn't be like the focus. Like it shouldn't be like, hey, we need to make
right.
this sustainable forever. It's okay if like some things go away.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, like they come and go. It's kind of what that club went. You know, it sort of depends. Like for sure, I don't love that these things come and go always, especially when you know sometimes you drop friendships, you drop business opportunities that you've built for yourself, things like
It's
that.
so sad. Like
Yeah,
just like now with tech Twitter, it's like it's so everyone half of people like well, one third of people are on Twitter, one third of people are on Mastodon, then you've got people on Blue Sky, and it's like it's just sad that we probably miss so much information or so many like things that we could be taking advantage of or communicating about because we're looking at so many different networks at once.